Alright, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and I have been gone for almost half a year now, so I do apologize for that. But I am back because just this weekend, I watched Sully, which is directed by Clink Eastwood, starring Tom Hanks, one of my favorite actors of all time, and co-starring Aaron Eckhart as well. And it just really got me in the mood to review a movie. So, Sully is the true life story of Captain Sully. I can't remember his last name, but he's a pilot that ended up taking off from the airport, and as soon as he was in the air, he had massive. He lost both engines in the plane, and he had to make a quick decision and land in the Hudson River. And then afterwards, the insurance company ends up coming in and having to question him, and then they ended up having a hearing to see if, like, Captain Sully actually made the right choice in landing in the Hudson, or if he could have actually made it back to the airport. And in this, I really felt that a lot of people are saying that this movie is about, showing both sides of the story. And yes, they do. They try to show both sides of the story. They're trying to show Captain Sully's, his why he made his decision to land in the Hudson, and they also show the insurance company saying that he could have made it back to the airport, and then they have to prove if this could have happened or not. And without spoiling anything, let's say that yes, Captain Sully could have made it back to the airport. If he could have made it back, I still don't think that he should lose the right to his pension and lose his job. I think that he should maybe go through more training or something like that, or like more proper training. But I think that if he had his reasons for landing in the Hudson, because it was a lot safer, and he did not think that he could have made it back to the airport, and let's say if the calculations say that he could have just maybe made it back, he should have been able to make it back, but just barely. I think that in a situation like that, the pilot should not be at fault. I think that a pilot should have a few different options, and if he goes with the option that wouldn't have endangered anybody else, and if he doesn't make it back to the airport, let's say if it's a very close call according to the calculations that he could have made it back. Well, if he would have made those calculations in midair, like all these calculations that computers can make, there's no way that a human can do that. I think that a human would choose, okay, that doesn't look right. I can't do all the crazy calculations because we just lost both our engines. I'm going to go into the Hudson River because at least it's water. And, if we land in the water, it won't explode. And it just, it upset me so much that people would say that it shows both sides. It does show both sides, but I really felt that this was one-sided and that you're just... The insurance company is completely the bad guys, because I hated every single one of them. I could not stand any of them. When they would say things, I would be like, shut up, you're an idiot. I got so frustrated with them. And if they're supposed to be the villains of the movie, then they did a really good job with this. If that's the direction they were going, then I'm okay with it, because that worked. I was just completely behind Captain Sully. Part of it because it's Tom Hanks and I really like him. And also Aaron Eckhart did a great job in this movie. I almost liked Aaron Eckhart's acting more, because Tom Hanks in this movie isn't his usual, not overacting. Tom Hanks, I would never say overacts, but he was very subdued. His character had to be a lot calm all the time, and didn't get into really long, detailed conversations. I looked at even something like last year with Bridge of Spies. He acted a lot more in that and had a different kind of a character where he could do a little bit more. Whereas in this movie, he had to basically just take it back, and it was a different role for him. He still played it quite well, but when I looked at this movie, I was like, I would not nominate him for an Oscar. He still did a good job, but I wouldn't nominate him for anything like that. Normally, a Tom Hanks, when he's in a movie, I generally say, yeah, Oscar worthy, or at least nomination worthy. But Aaron Eckhart was really good in this, and I liked that the relationship that they had, because I think that in this story they had just both met to go on that flight, but they'd never flown together before. So I thought that was really, I liked the chemistry that they had, because they both shared this big experience of they landed a plane in the freaking river. It's insane. Another few things that I saw in this movie is that I really didn't like the wife's the Tom Hanks's wife, Sully's wife in this movie, because she kept freaking out at Sully, and he had just landed a plane in the river, and he had this big hearing, and he's not at home, he's in a hotel. Give the guy some space and don't freak out at him so much because he doesn't need that. He's probably already stressed enough. He's having, nightmares. He's not able to sleep. He has all this hearing. He might lose his pension. He's freaking out enough as it is, and then she added more worry. I just felt her character was super stupid. Maybe that's what actually happened in real life, and then if that's the case, I feel bad for like the actual Sully. But I really didn't like that. The hearing is actually really good. I generally like it when they go to like court or hearing or something like that. I generally like what goes down there, and I really felt that both Aaron Eckhart and Tom Hanks' characters had some really good lines to say during that. So I was thoroughly entertained with this movie. I will say too, just one other minor negative. The flight scene is awesome. Like when the crash happens, or not the crash, but the landing and like all the problems. I love that. That's one of my favorite movies. Well, not one of my favorite movies, but I really enjoyed the movie Flight with Denzel Washington. And this one also had. I was enjoying every second of that scene. And it's quite a long scene, so I liked that. But I will say that the CGI for like the plane wasn't the greatest, and I was like, it's 2016, like it should have looked a little bit better than that. But other than that, like I still got really into this movie, and everything else looked pretty good. So I will give this movie a 7 out of 10. I would recommend watching it. I wouldn't necessarily say that you need to see it in theaters, although if you can see it on a cheap night, I would definitely recommend that. And if you like Tom Hanks, and if the trailer looks interesting to you, and you like hearing type of movies where they try to figure out, who's right or wrong, definitely check this movie out. So thank you all for watching. You've been bearded in. Beardage.